Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Dave. Dave is from San Diego in California in the USA. So let's see what Dave has to say. Enjoy the interview.
William,
Hello Dave, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you so much. Nice to meet you, finally.
Nice to meet you too. This is awesome. I have become obsessed with your show.
Oh my God, you're just making my day now.
Every day, whenever I'm doing something on the computer, I have one of your programs.
Oh, sweet, very sweet. So how was your Christmas?
It was really nice, very relaxing.
Do you like Christmas?
I do. I do. It's a lot of fun memories about Christmas as a kid. And yeah, it's a great time of year. It's the one time of year, people really feel like they need to make an effort to be nice to each other.
Yeah, I think Christmas brings this beautiful vibe, even though you don't celebrate it. Like here in London, I know a few people, they come from countries that they don't celebrate Christmas, but they always say, William, it's Christmas. I have good fun, don't need to celebrate, just being around people and the whole vibe of, as you said, being nice to people and getting people together as well. I think it's a nice time of the year. And I love as well the preparation before Christmas. You walk around the city, you see so many lights, people buying things, can be a bit busy, too busy for me. But yeah. I think that the whole atmosphere, the whole thing, it's brilliant. And it goes so fast. It's already Boxing Day. So did you where are you right now, Dave? Where are you from?
I live in San Diego. Right now, I'm up in Hollywood. I brought my dog up here and we're staying at my favorite hotel.
Wow. And why Hollywood?
This hotel, I just love it. It's kind of like my addiction. It's like a little bubble. I don't really feel like I'm in Los Angeles right now. It's an old hotel from the 1920s.
Wow.
And it's just totally my vibe.
Oh, wow. So do you go there very often?
As much as I can afford to.
Dave, I know you are a photographer, you are an artist as well. So tell me a little bit about your career, how everything started.
The photography is actually a side thing for me. Ever since I've been a little kid, the first thing I like to do is to draw. And then that developed into painting. And then at the same time, I got, a little camera, a Polaroid camera. Of course, that was back in the day. So the photography I've always enjoyed doing. My dad used to do a lot of it. And as I've gotten older and with my job, it's harder to take the time to paint. That's where my real love is, but to get the paints out, to sit down and make sure I've got hours and hours to do that, it's just mentally, it's hard to comprehend. But a camera, I can just pick that up and start snapping. So for me, whenever I'm out someplace and I'm always thinking, okay, how would that look in a shot? I'm totally trained on that. I've been doing it, I'd say, fairly heavily since probably like around 2000, and even more so in like the last 7 years. It's a great way to meet people and get their story and try to create an experience where I'm capturing them. I don't do studio photography because to me that seems a little impersonal. And for people that aren't necessarily models, because I don't necessarily just shoot models, but I think people feel more comfortable in environments and locations that resonate with them, and you're having a conversation rather than just having the camera pointed in your face with a black backdrop or something.
I see. And what's your main job?
My main job, I work at a local university and I run the marketing department for their housing and dining division. So for the students that live on campus with us, we have restaurants, we obviously have the housing and a bunch of other different areas. So My team does the social media, the photography, the videography, the website, and all that kind of good stuff.
Oh, wow. And so before we start our journey, really in the magic box, you already said a few interesting things about yourself. So tell me something interesting that not many people know about you.
I'm a Gemini, a true Gemini. So I'm very much a dichotomy. And I have a lot of different interests. For me, a key word is serendipity. And through my life, I've had different things that I've really been involved with and really enjoyed. And then I kind of move on to something else. But one thing that I've really liked since I was a little kid, the child star actress Shirley Temple. I saw her on a TV show when I was a little kid. I was flipping the channels and she was tap dancing on a piano. And I just became obsessed with her. And then the more I learned about her, what an amazing life she had after her movie career. She went into politics. She was the first woman to come forward about having breast cancer, really a pioneer for helping other women. She trained diplomats and all that kind of stuff. Just an amazing person. And that one has continued to, with a very good friend of mine, we've been co-authoring some books on Shirley Temple that we've been putting out for a small little group.
Wow.
Yeah, I love old movies anyway. I'm just an old fart.
And all your family, they are in San Diego?
I do have some family here on my dad's side. My mom, she lives out in the Philadelphia area. Mm-hmm. And then I've got two brothers that live in different states too. My dad moved us away when I was about 2.5 out to Philadelphia because we were all born in San Diego, but I'm the only one that moved back. It just always felt like home to me, California.
You're a proper California boy.
I remember as a little kid when we used to come visit, flying into San Diego and just seeing the palm trees and everything and the red tile roofs. I was like, oh, now I'm home. It just, something about it resonated.
Amazing. Dave, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
I am ready, I think.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend. Okay, full of random questions. I'm just going to play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Okay, let's do it. Okay. Okay, Dave, before we start the journey, during the show, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about, some reason you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. First question for you is, what is your favorite weekend activity?
The thing I like most about weekends is not having things planned to where I can just relax, but I do love to go on longer runs. I like to run outdoors and just running through the neighborhoods and everything and through the trails and canyons and everything. It's just, that's a good time for me to think and work through whatever's going on in my brain. So I really do like that freedom of being able to take a morning run and just relax.
Are you more of a day or a night person?
I'm more of a morning person. My mom is a real morning person. So as a little kid, it would be like 6 a.m. and she'd be knocking on the door. When are you getting up? You're wasting the best part of the day. So I was training as a little kid, but then naps were okay. So I love to take naps. So then invariably I'm usually up later. So
for you, what's the best time of the day to have a nap?
The golden time is like around 2 o'clock. If I wait too much longer, then it really screws up my sleep at night. But I'll take like a 2-hour nap. It just, and you still wake up like you're kind of groggy, but oh my gosh, it feels so nice.
Good, very good.
That would be another favorite part of my weekend too, being able to take a nap.
Oh, there you go. It's like a must in the weekend.
Right.
The same time, 2 o'clock, more or less?
If I can do it, yes.
Next question. Okay, Dave, next question for you is, what is the most beautiful thing someone has ever done for you?
When I lived in Indiana, the partner I had at that time, it was my birthday, and he had a key to my house. And when I was out at work, he went inside and put together like a little, what do you call it, like a treasure hunt thing, where I would have to go to each different clue, and then I'd go to someplace else. And then it ended up to where, I was going to meet him at his place, and he was going to take me out to dinner. But just the thoughtfulness of that and all the different things, I mean, that was years ago, but it still stuck with me. It's one of the neatest things someone ever did for me for a birthday. I just love when people put thought into things like that.
Are we still in touch with this person or not anymore?
Yes, we are still in touch. Still good friends.
Oh.
It wasn't meant to be.
It was your first relationship or not?
It was my second one. Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll just say it was my second one.
See. All right. Next question. Dave, before the next question, tell me what do you like the most about your job, and the flip side, what's the most challenging part, in your opinion?
The best thing I like about my job, I love my team. The staff that works for me, they are amazing. I love helping them, mentoring them. And at times, when they get frustrated with the job or they're too busy, I'm the one that gets in between and helps make things right for them. So I love doing that, helping other people. I also like the students on campus. I mean, sometimes they're a little bit entitled. Like, a lot of people that generation, I remember when I was in college, you just think, oh, this is the most important thing and I should be getting this and this and this. But I do love the energy of the students. It does keep you young, and it's really fantastic to see the world again through their eyes and not get jaded, because at my age, it's easy to just get set in your ways and not really see other opinions. As far as what I like the least about it, would probably be the lack of planning. It's a university. Every year, everything is the same. It's on a cycle. There really shouldn't be that many new surprises. And yet, for some reason, the departments that we work with, they'll wait till the last minute to give you something. And it's like, why couldn't you have done this? And then, when you bring that up, they'll say, oh, well, we'll do it better next year. But then once that particular cycle is over, they forget about it and they move on to something else. So it's just one of those things you kind of have to get used to. And I'm kind of used to it.
I see. And the students, they are, most of the students, they are Americans, or they come from different parts of the world sometimes?
No, we get a lot of international students too. We have a lot of Asian students. Yeah, I wouldn't say that the campus is completely diverse. There's heavy population of Asians and a lot of students from California. Mm-hmm. I don't know that there's a real solid representation from other countries, but.
Okay. All right. Next question for you is, what makes you the happiest?
Well, right now I'd say my dog. I adore him. Even when I've had a bad day, if I come home from work and I'm really honked off, I just look at him and he's just, animals are just so simple. The unconditional love and just that cute little face. And yeah, he just totally makes me happy. But overall, love. Love to me is happiness.
And what's the meaning of love for you? I mean, you just said it's happiness. And do you believe that there are different kinds of love?
Definitely. I love my friends. I have a few very close friends. I don't need a whole lot of people. But yeah, there's that friendship love, and then what I would call the romantic love. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say probably two types of love: romantic love and friendship type of love.
Is your dog around? I could see or not?
He is Willis. Willis.
Oh, hello, Willis. Willis?
Willis, I've had him for he was about 2 months when we got him. So
Oh, sweet.
the little boy.
Oh,
But he's sassy too, so I like that about him.
their personality can go different directions sometimes.
Yes, both of ours.
That's how it matches well. Next question. Let's do it, Dave. Next question for you is tough question now.
Oh.
If someone gave an envelope, yeah, with your death date inside of it, would you open it or not, and why?
Part of me would really want to open it, but I think I would turn it down, because I think, even though on the one hand it might be cool to know, because you would try to live as much as you could, that would be hanging over my head. Just that negativity that, I know I'm going to die on this day. I think it's better for me not to know, and just let it happen as it's supposed to happen.
What is your understanding about dying? Do you think it's something that bothers you, or it's something that's just is part of life, or you don't think about that much?
I'm at a stage right now that if I died, there you go. The only thing I would feel bad about right now is my dog outliving me, and then what happens with him. But other than that, my only hope is that it's not a painful death, that I just go in my sleep. But death itself doesn't really bother me. It's just it's part of life.
Absolutely. And I think the older you get, you try to understand more about life and about yourself. You just get relaxed about that. I think when you're young age, that's when you have the thoughts about, you know what I mean? Like you don't understand much about it. But as soon as you start getting more older and wiser, is just something that it's part of life,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the older you get, the more you see it, because, whether it's parents or grandparents or tragically, contemporaries that pass, you experience it. So
absolutely. Next question, Dave. Let's do it. Next question is, right, what's the best first date have you ever been on, and why you consider that?
That is a tough one. Because I've got to say, most of my first dates where it's planned, I can't say where it really went anywhere. It's like unexpected ones where I meet somebody, or I've heard you ask this question, and I've kind of thought in my head what would be, but nothing really sticks with me. I would say for me, first dates, when it's someone, we're supposed to get together for sure, I'm always excited. Just because you never know where it's going to go. But I can't think of a particular one that really stands out for me.
In your opinion, what's something that's the worst thing someone can say on a first date?
When the conversation starts out with, what are you into? Do you do this or this? And it's like, I don't even know if I want to go there. Well, when you meet someone, whether you're attracted to them or not.
Yeah. But
as far as if that's the first thing that you're leading with, that's kind of a turn off to me.
Totally. I think it breaks a bit the magical moment, doesn't it? Because it's like you are already stepping forward somehow. It's getting more intimate somehow, and you're not connect with the person yet. That's what I believe.
Right. Because our hormones or libido, whatever, can take control and can really hide a lot of red flags. So once you start down the physical path, you don't really get to know the person as quickly. And that's why so many people, when they're like, oh my God, it was such a great relationship, but they changed. It's like, no, they probably really didn't. You probably just finally, the sex haze disappeared and then you got to know them.
And in your opinion, maintain like have a relationship in San Diego, yeah? It's easy in the gay scene, or we have this stereotype like big cities that's difficult to have a relationship because there's always so much people and easy, and also people, they're always looking for the next one? Or in your opinion, San Diego is more calm regarding that?
I like to call San Diego a good home base. It's kind of suburban, if you're familiar with that.
Mm-hmm.
LA would be a lot more dangerous, I think, for a relationship, because LA is so much more into how people look, how much money they have, and all of that. And, if you live up here, it's hard to avoid that. San Diego isn't so much. It's still got some because it's Southern California. There's still a lot of emphasis on how you look and your job and all that stuff. But I would say it's a lot more healthy in that regard. The problem I find with San Diego is it is very much a transient tourist town. People go there for vacation.
Oh,
So
I
they're
see.
not there because it's got a great art scene. They're not there because of the culture. They're not. So, yeah, there's pluses and minuses everywhere.
Absolutely. Okay.
So still holding hope that something will happen there.
Absolutely. Maybe the person's watching the interview right now.
You just never know.
Absolutely. Ready for another one?
Yes.
Let's do it, Dave. Let's do it. Before the next one, tell me what's the best joy of being a photographer. Tell me what is the fascination about, photographing. That's something that you always like to do.
I love the process. I'm always nervous whenever I shoot somebody for the first time for a number of reasons. One, it's kind of like dating. You don't know if you're going to get along with them. And for me, it's important to have some kind of a connection and rapport with someone when you're shooting, because if you don't have that, you're going to see it in their eyes. Painting is the same way. It's the eyes. That's where you really see somebody's soul. So I get nervous about having that connection. But usually once we start and when there's rapport, and very few times have I not had that, it's just very easy. And then the next thing I get nervous about, well, what if they don't like the pictures? What if I didn't do a good job? What if, because everyone has, if you look at people's pictures on Instagram, some people's faces look completely flat because they filter the heck out of their face. And those are typically people that I probably don't do too well with, because my style is a little bit more realistic. I mean, I do photo retouching, but I don't like to blow everything out. But people that really heavily retouch themselves, to me, that tells me that they're not really comfortable with themselves. But what I like is when I'm done, they get the pictures and they're super happy and they feel good about themselves because I brought out something that they like, or they like them. There have been a few times when they looked at the pictures and, they haven't been happy because either, I don't know, they're too wrinkled, or they expected to have six-pack abs, for me to add those in there. And that's when I really feel bad. Because my thing is, I like to provide people an experience that makes them feel good.
And as you said about this, sometimes you get a bit nervous about connect with the person. There is something that you do to break the ice when you meet your clients or someone that you're going to work with? There's something that you do, or to relax both sides?
I usually will try to meet them ahead of time for like a coffee or something, or at least a phone call, so that I can kind of feel them out and find out what their interests and their hobbies are. Those go a lot better than the ones where I just meet them and start shooting cold. But yeah, typically it's just a conversation. And a lot of times when I start shooting, the first few pictures are not all that great because I am taking the time to talk to them, trying to build up the rapport. And it takes a while for me when I'm looking through that lens, where do they look best? And I do try to find out ahead of time. I will ask people, is there anything you don't like about yourself, or any angles or things like that? Some people are really sensitive about it. Some people don't care. But I usually try to ask that ahead of time.
See. Okay. Next question is, tell us about your best vacation and why you consider that.
I can think of two. It would probably be a tie, but probably the top one. Went to Italy in 2004 with my partner at the time. And that was just incredible. I'd been to Europe in high school, but I'd never been to Italy. And my family's Italian. I mean, I didn't visit any family there. They live down near southern part of Italy, but we did Florence, Rome, Naples I wasn't crazy about, but the Amalfi Coast, oh my God, the Amalfi Coast was beautiful. And the Isle of Capri, Positano, Sorrento, all those, I could just see myself retiring there, you know. That I just thought those were absolutely beautiful. I'm the kind of person that, you know, I'll look forward to an event, but then during the event, it's like I kind of rush through it, like a restaurant. You know, when you're at a restaurant, you know, rushing through the courses in Italy, you don't rush. They force you to slow down. The waiters
Yeah.
are not quick. You know, when you're asking for the check, they don't care. You know, they take their time, and it was so nice to be relaxed like that and enjoy each course. And so, you know, by the time the trip was over, I was just feeling like a different person. It was really wonderful.
Wow.
Really, really wonderful. Different culture, and I love that.
Wow. And when you think about this trip, what's the first memory that comes to your mind?
Probably would be the Isle of Capri. We took a you know, another thing is serendipity. We took the boat over there, and once we got off the boat, this guy he approached us and said, "Hey, you know, do you need a driver today?" And I forget what he charged. I think it ended up being like maybe 80 or $100 in US dollars in 2004. Oh my gosh, he knew his stuff. He took us to like a little ski lift. We took a ski lift to the top there, you know, dangle your feet over the vineyards, had a glass of wine at the top, great views, and then came back down. I mean, he told us every place to go, to the Blue Grotto, where you take the little boat and go into the grotto, and you know, everything's lit perfectly so you see the blue water. But that was my favorite memory, especially the little chairlift thing up to the top. And again, relaxing. That was towards the end of the trip, so that was just magical.
Wow, amazing. Next question, Dave. Let's do it. Next question for you is, what was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
Make stuff. I mean, I stayed in the house all the time. If I wasn't drawing, then I had construction paper and scotch tape, and I was making things. So I just loved to create and make things as a little kid. My mom used to always say, "Go outside. You need to go outside and play." I was not an athlete as a little kid. I would consider myself uncoordinated at that stage, but I just loved to draw and create. And when I did go outside, I'd take a book with me and read. That was my favorite activity. I went through so much scotch tape as a little kid and crayons and all of that.
And how was growing up as a gay boy? Did you always have the support of your family?
Definitely no. And I mean, when I grew up, I really didn't know what my feelings were. I mean, I can remember have feelings that way. That was probably, I don't know, first or second grade, third grade, you know, liking boys. But I didn't know what that was. You know, at that age, you have no idea what that really means. But I knew it was kind of weird. My dad was the first one I actually told, but that wasn't until I was in my second relationship. My parents were divorced by that time. He was already about to have his third marriage. But I told him I wanted to talk to him about something, and he flew out. I didn't tell him what it was. He didn't ask. I said I had something important I wanted to talk to him about. He came out. I told him, and he said, "You know, it's not what I would have wanted for you, but you're my son. I love you." And then he wanted to know if I was seeing anybody, and I said I was. And he said, "Well, I want to meet him."
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he met him that night, and he was wonderful about that. But I kind of knew he would be.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and I have never had the talk. I know she knows. She's got to know. She's not stupid. She just doesn't ask because I don't think she wants to know. You know, they were both from the 1930s, and she's just very rigid on all of her views on everything. And, you know, I love her to pieces, but
I think every parent, the moms, they know very well their child, even better than ourselves. Most of the time, you know, they, as you said, maybe they don't want to know, they don't want to talk about, they want to just live on the sides, but deep inside, they know very well.
yeah. And she met the last partner I had. She met him twice. She knew he lived with me. So, but you know, every time his name came up, she just got really, oof.
Really, you could feel it. Wow.
Oh, completely.
And introduce them to her as a friend.
Yeah, just said, you know, this is my friend Doug. She
Wow.
knew. No, I know she did. But you know, knowing for sure is different than suspecting. And
Absolutely.
if you just suspect, then you can still live in fantasy land.
And as you said, sometimes they don't want to know. They don't want you to tell them. They just want to keep the way it is. You know what I mean? For some reason.
Both of my brothers, I did not talk to them or tell them about it. One of my brothers, his daughter somehow was on, you know, when she was young, surfing the net. She found a profile of me on a dating website.
Wow.
So she told her dad. He printed out the page and sent it to me. Which I thought, you know, what a dick move, and was pretty judgy about it, and you know, said, I don't know, something like, you know, he was ready to help me or talk to me about it, blah 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 blah, and I just like, that was really rude, you know. Yeah, but he knows. He and I've talked about it a little bit, like when my partner died and I went through all of that. He knew, but he never really asked or. So to me, family has not really been a huge support in most of the ways. So my family would be my chosen family, my friends. You know, they're the ones I can count on, that I can be myself. And I think that's so important. Being around people that you can authentically be yourself. My dad, I had that, but you know, unfortunately he died. I guess it was maybe like 3 years after I told him. So I didn't have him around that long.
I think when your brother send this picture to you, you should do some hearts and send back to him like, I love you anyway. He'll be confused. He'll be confused. Nice. 3 questions left for you. Okay, Dave, let's do it.
Okay.
Next question is, right, in your opinion, what do you think are the best traits for a person to have?
How many do you want? I think the most important thing is the communication, being able to communicate. And that's not even just talking to someone, but especially listening, shutting up and listening. There was an exercise we did at work where you had to listen to someone talk for like 5 minutes and not say a word. And that was so tough because typically you're already responding to what they're saying and not even listening. But that was really important. I think that's so, you know, in this day and age, people just don't listen. They're so, you know, with social media and these one-way conversations, people just vomit stuff. So communication, I think, is really important. Sense of humor. Oh my gosh, you've got to be able to laugh. And people, I think, are offended very easily these days. And I think that's sad because I like to think that most people don't intend to be mean or thoughtless. You know, maybe they just need a little education, but come at them with love and or humor. But I think humor can really help you get through so many dark times. You just have to be able to laugh at life.
Absolutely. I think when you are faced those dark times and you put some humor on it, somehow it calms you down. It helps you to face in a different way, doesn't it? even sometimes with ourselves as well. If you're able to laugh about yourself or with yourself, it makes a big difference when you are facing those challenging moments, I would say. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've got a dark sense of humor, but you just have to laugh.
Yes, absolutely. It's a therapy. It's a therapy,
Yeah.
laughing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Absolutely.
Even
You
though some of
energy.
my friends up in Hollywood, they say, don't smile because that causes wrinkles. Well,
I think
seriously.
I've got to have a lot as well because I've got 2 questions left for you, Dave. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Before the next one, working with students, yeah, I'm sure you've learned a lot, like with those, young people, starting a new journey in their lives, Can you share like, let's say a situation that you've learned through your career with a student, something that you go like, wow, that was something that I will always remember, if you can share.
Up until the last few years, I did have student workers, but then, we had to have cutbacks because of COVID. But there are so many wonderful students that I had work for me that I had great memories that, I learned as much as I think they learned from me. And some of them, I've continued to keep in touch with, which has been wonderful. I'll tell you one experience that I thought was amazing. I went to this event, and long story short, it was a fundraising event. One of the prizes was dinner for 4 at Club 33, which at Disneyland, it was the one place that served alcohol. It was like a really fancy high-end restaurant. You had to be a member to get into this restaurant, which was in Disneyland. I had never been there. One of my students was taking I can't remember, like a class about legends or myths or something, and he was talking about Club 33 and how he had never heard of it, but he learned about it through this class. Well, serendipity, I got the things for 4. At that point, I only had a few students. So my one coworker and 2 of the students, we spent the day at Disneyland and then had dinner at Club 33 that night. And I had never really spent that much time outside of work with my staff. That was an amazing lesson, that taking your workers out of the work environment, having an opportunity where you are sharing a personal connection and learning about them without the stress of work, because oftentimes we get annoyed with our bosses or annoyed with our workers, our staff. But when you're outside of work and you see them as human beings and you share a meal with them and a special experience, that was just so rewarding. It was just a great day. The whole day was fun. It was one of those, magical, best ever type of days.
When I was checking your profile, Dave, in your website, there you do some work with Disney as well, a collaboration, something, or am I wrong? There was something there.
I've loved Disneyland since I was a little kid. The first time I went, I was about 6. And the park itself, I was raised on the movies. This was back in the day, William, when they used to show like Snow White and all those on a 7-year rotation in the theaters. So every 7 years, you could go see them in a theater. So my dad or my mom, whichever, would take me to the theater to see those movies. So I grew up on Disney, loved the art, but the parks, to be in that atmosphere, to be in the rides in a 3D environment of the movies that you loved and all that stuff, I loved it. And then the partner that I was dating when I turned 40, he'd never been to Disneyland. It was the same guy I went to Italy with. Took him to Disneyland. Oh, wow. He went nuts. He was a workaholic. So for him to go to Disneyland and be in that place where you are surrounded by the magic and you can throw the world out, we were going all the time. It was almost every weekend, once a month. And just to kind of try to keep things excited, I started doing some research about Disneyland when it first opened and the history of it. So I started taking a lot of pictures, of course. And what originally was just one page on my website, I've got, I don't know how many pages for Disneyland and its history with pictures I've collected, plus the ones that I've taken. To me, that was a great way to learn about photography because of all the different things. You have the dark rides where it's a different lighting condition. You have the outdoor stuff. You have parades where people are moving in action. I really learned a lot about photography there. And I met a group of really great photographers who we would meet there. And the four of us would just go around the park and shoot pictures. And they taught me a lot of stuff about my camera and all of that. So, yeah, I have not been to Disneyland though since December 2016. So it's been 6 years now. I kind of got burned out on it. And at some point, I'm sure I'll go back, but I don't want to be one of those persons that, every time they go, like, oh, well, this paint is peeling over here. They need to replace this light bulb. I want it to be magic again when I go back. And I think after the pandemic, they're still having some issues with figuring out the crowd control and having enough employees to make everything magical. So I'm not in a hurry.
I was working for Disney Cruise Line in 2016. Actually, I was working for Disney Cruise Line, and actually, I was so fortunate because before you went to the ship, for the cruise, we spent 2 days like getting to know everything about Disney, about the parks, and guess what? We literally got to see behind the scene. That was, my God, like seeing before the magic starts, where people, see that, to see behind, underneath, like all this, people working and get things,
Is that in Orlando that you saw that? Or, okay, yeah.
Orlando, yeah. So got to see all, you know what I mean? It was so fascinating. I was like, my goodness. When you thought in your life be able to do that or to see that behind the scenes, so it was a dream come true just to be there, but to see that was a plus as well. So I'm so fortunate and grateful that that experience I had in my life, that's going to be a life experience. And I have so many pictures, and I've met so many people around the world, spending this 4 months working for Disney. I never thought in my life I would work for Disney anyway. You never thought about that?
What did you do for them, William?
Sorry?
What did you do for Disney on the cruise line?
I was working in restaurants. So I was doing like service, like
Okay.
the server was helping. It was like the best experience I ever had in my life. I would never forget. And actually, when I finished the contract, they want me to carry on, but for me, it was like, I went for the experience, but I went like, okay, let's see how it goes. I enjoyed a lot, literally, but if I would do another contract, it would be for 7 months, and I couldn't see myself working another 7 months, but I'm glad I did, because one of the best experience. I learned with Disney that there are no plan B, just plan A. That's what I've learned working for Disney. And I could tell you so many stories that I've learned that, like working for them, that would be here another 2 hours, because it was a life experience that I'm always going to be grateful for that, for sure.
I would love to hear about that. So that'll be another call.
Okay, when I come to San Diego for the first time, okay, I'm gonna spend the day walking the beach and talking about Disney, okay, with you. And you can take some pictures as well. You can take some pictures as well, okay?
Yes, definitely.
We do all together. We talk about Disney, we take picture, we enjoy the sun, we enjoy the beach, and I get to see San Diego.
Perfect, I'm ready.
Next question for you is, what is your favorite kitchen smell?
My favorite kitchen smell?
Yeah. Do you like cooking?
Oh, I do. I would definitely say the smells from baking. Whether it's bread or some kind of pie, there's something about, when the dough or the crust is baking, that it's just a feeling of warmth. Now, I love Italian food. I love French fries. There's something about, that fried smell, but something about the baking, that just feels like home. Whether it's cookies, when people walk in your house, oh my God, it smells so good. It's usually because I've been baking something.
And tell me, if there is one food that you could eat for the rest of your life, what that would be?
It'd probably be spaghetti. I love spaghetti and Italian food.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think I would get sick of that.
Ready for the last question?
I'm ready. Yes.
Let's do it. Last question.
Okay.
Okay, Dave, before the last question, if you could share one of your career as a photographer, one moment that you go like, okay, that was my best picture, my best shoot, or my best experience with someone, if you can share.
I'd say one of my most memorable shots, and a lot of times when I'm shooting, and even after I process the photos, I'll think, oh, those are okay. But then when I go back and revisit them, it's the same thing with my paintings. I can look at them with clean eyes and like, no, that really was pretty good. But one of my favorite shoots, it was at this historic house up here in, I think, Los Feliz, which is like a neighborhood outside of Hollywood. It was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright's son. And it's also allegedly the house where a still unsolved murder occurred. But it is the most amazing house. It's kind of like a Mayan look, an Aztec look on the outside, and the inside is just so cool. And I had been wanting to get inside of there for so long, and then I contacted the people because I found out that they did rent it for photo shoots. So I rented it, and I lined up a few different models because I thought, you know, for the amount of time I have, I think I maybe had 2 hours, which isn't a lot. I was like, I'm going to get the most out of my money for this. I had some of my friends come up. I was like, I'm going to shoot you in there too. So I was, you know, everything was very organized. But oh, the house had so many different opportunities and looks. It had like a little pool in the middle and a beautiful courtyard. All the rooms were amazing. Just the bones of the house and the textured blocks and things. That was an incredible shoot. And the people that I hired for it did a great job. And my friends, you know, I got some, well, 2 of my friends, they got a divorce, so those pictures are kind of worthless. But another friend of mine, I got some shots of her. And of course, I had one of my friends who's a photographer get some pictures of me in there. And I, even though they're, what, 6 years old now, I still use them a little bit. But yeah, that was very rewarding to me. Yeah, I love that.
And one of your paintings, which one would be your favorite one?
Yeah, you know, to be honest with you, since I moved to California, I have not painted that much. I've just found myself doing other things. So the only paintings I've done, you know, a handful of commissions. I've got one painting sitting on my easel that I've been working on for probably like 15, 18 years, collecting dust. Favorite paintings overall, there was one I did of Tippi Hedren, the actress that was in Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. She was in another movie with him called Marnie. And I did I think it was 12 different scenes from the movie, and it was really large. I love that one a lot. It may not have been my best painting, but it was one that really resonated with me because that movie is very special to me. And a guy that wrote a few books about Hitchcock, saw it, I met him, another serendipitous moment, long story, I'll keep it short. But he ended up buying it, and he took me to meet Tippi Hedren. So I got to meet her in person. Wow. So that one is a really, really, really special painting to me. Wow. And then another one I did of James Dean's cousin. I ended up meeting him. I gave him the painting of he and James Dean when he was a little boy. And he did an interview with, what's his name? King. He's dead now. Larry King. He did an interview with Larry King, and they filmed him with my painting behind him. And on Larry King Live, he says, oh yeah, my friend Dave did that painting, and David DeCaro said my name, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool too. So those are two special paintings to me. Wow.
Last question for you is, what makes you very sentimental?
Oh, I am a sentimental sap. Very, very sentimental. Yeah, when my grandmother died, and she was very, very, very special to me. She was an artist. She didn't give a crap what other people thought. She was tough. And, you know, she was born in 1906. And she was a very forward-thinking woman. She made her own way. She learned how to work with men in the business world and everything. She was amazing. So I really looked up to her. She had one painting in her house that I was just mesmerized. That was done by like a great uncle or something in our family. And whenever I'd go visit her, I would sit there and sketch it. I just thought it was the most amazing painting. But there was a little bit of a scandal in the family tied to that painting, which is another long story, but my grandmother probably shouldn't have happened. Anyway, whatever it was, when my grandmother died, my mom was the one who was in charge of cleaning up her house and doling out all of my grandmother's possessions. And when she came home, I said to her, I said, well, who's going to get that painting? And she just said, oh, well, we decided that, you know, just to kind of end the whole family thing, we just donated it to the local museum. Oh my God, I was so crushed.
Wow.
But I didn't say I just said, oh, okay, you know, I kind of got it. Then when my grandmother's stuff that my mom was getting arrived at the house in the moving truck, we had a bunch of boxes, and there was one. My mom said, oh, I think you should open this one. And I saw the size of it, and I was like, oh God, you know, could it be? And I opened it, and there was the painting. And she told me that my grandmother's brother, my great uncle, had said, give it to David. This should go to him. My mom didn't want to take the responsibility, but because he said that, you know, she surprised me. And I still have that painting. It just means the world to me. And when I open that box, oh my God, I'm welling up now, but just because of my grandmother and all the meanings to it. But oh, that was one of the most special gifts ever.
Wow, wow. And I'm sure whatever she's right now, she's smiling, you sharing this beautiful event in your life.
Yeah, that painting was in Illinois. Then it went to California. Then when I got it, it went to Philadelphia. Then when I lived in Indiana, it moved to Indiana. And now that I'm back in San Diego, it's back in San Diego. So that painting's been around.
Wow, wow, beautiful. I'm glad this question came up to you.
Me too, thank you.
Oh, it's not the end yet. Okay, let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words and just tell one word that comes. So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Your mind, quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
Politics.
Awful.
Religion.
Misused.
One word for love.
Essential.
Money.
Misused.
One word for family.
Let's say special.
Life.
Opportunities.
How about sex?
Magical.
One word for fear.
Motivating.
Friendship.
Essential.
Desire.
I'd also say motivating.
Regret.
Worthless.
Success.
Feels good comes to my mind, but that's two words.
Okay. Wish.
Dream.
One word for happiness.
Love.
One word for San Diego.
Home base.
USA.
Struggling.
One word for artist.
Creativity.
And the last one, photographer, one word.
capturing.
Let's pretend I'm going to meet your best friend for coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend, what is it about Dave?
I think the good thing is that I'm thoughtful. That I do put a lot of thought into things. The thing that probably drives friends crazy the most would be, I just call things as they are. A lot of times I need to watch my tongue. I will speak first and think later, which, whether it's honest or not, isn't always what people want to hear. So I apologize a lot, or I should.
Oops, as they say, oops.
Yeah, exactly. That's where the humor comes in, right?
Let's play now, Dave, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it. Fine. So, okay, Dave, you can ask me a question now.
Has there been anyone that you have dated in your past that you've broken up with, that now, when you think about it, wow, I really should have done something different because I think that might have been the one, or could have been the one?
Wow. What a question. You put me in the spot, yeah, and I love the spot. So being a spot, let's see. Okay, let me have a think. Right. Okay, my answer to you would say no, and I'll tell you why. I'll explain you why. I had 4 relationships in my life. Yeah, I've been single now for the last few years now. All the relationships I had, fun enough, we became friends, like good friends, not best friends, because it's difficult for you to be best friend with your ex. Yeah, it's a bit tricky. But the relationship, like for example, when I meet my ex-boyfriends, like the first, the second one, it's I feel so connected with them as a friend. Yeah, I feel very connected. And I have my second boyfriend. He's English, and we for the few years ago we kind of spent a Christmas Eve together because he's English, and in England they spend the Christmas or Christmas Day. They don't spend Christmas Eve, yeah, on 24th. So a few years in a row, I was going to his place to have Christmas Eve, like for a dinner or something, and I was come back home. So we had that connection, and I used to joke with him. I would say, look, if I would meet you right now with the mentality I have right now, without knowing you, I think we could be good relationship, good boyfriends. But we met in different mentality, and they didn't work out as a couple. So I wouldn't say no, because I think all of them, they're very special. Yeah, they left a beautiful a beautiful thing in my life. They left something that I'll never forget. But when I think about them, I don't think that they would be the one that I want to be right now, like today, sharing a life, sharing, the moments I am right now. But saying that, I think they were so important, and they always will be, because, for me to have this mentality right now, thinking this way, I'm grateful to them, because somehow, the experience I had in sharing a relationship with them, like being with them, made me the person who I am right now. And when I'm looking for someone, or, the next person will come, I'll be grateful to them, because for somehow I'm ready for this next person, So no, I don't think so. But saying that, of course, when you break up with someone, you have those questions in your head. You're like, oh my God, what should I done differently to happen? But when you look back, it just meant to be this way, So they cross your life for a reason. They cross your life, and I'm so grateful for them. And I think they were a big part of my life. And but no, I couldn't picture myself being with them, or thinking about, okay, I should have done differently. Maybe I would be with this person right now, because it's clear, and the relationship we have right now, it's healthy. It's something that meant to be. I feel connected with them. They've been part of my life, even though like none of them I'm not in touch like always, but I know they are there. And if I would need something, or if they contact me, I'll be ready for them for anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, but as a relationship, I couldn't picture myself with them anymore. And I'm sure they have the same feeling as well, because it's clear between us. Always have this, let's say, open-minded, explain. Even my last boyfriend as well was the latest one. We when I think about him, I think that we meant to be this way, as not in a relationship, and not close friends, but a beautiful story that we had together that's going to be somehow in a special place.
You two have your language, and that never goes away. It's, where when you connect with that person, you can pick up because you had that time together. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's always gonna be there, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And of course, you just understand when you are apart from that relationship, when you are not there anymore, involved, emotionally involved, or physically, or anything. Because when you are there involved, you cannot see the big picture, you cannot understand. But when you are apart and you are more understanding about, like I am right now, I can see myself, having this connection with them in a different way. So yes, my answer to you is no. There's nothing that I've done through my relationship in the past that I regret, or I would go like, okay, I should have done differently or behaved differently, or to accommodate the situation at the time, because I wouldn't be the person who I am right now. And the next person who will be join me somehow, we're gonna be connected somehow, gonna have a relationship, wouldn't be I wouldn't be ready for this person. So
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? So yeah, so that's my answer to you. My God, Dave, you put me in the spot, like, very good, didn't you?
Well, this is the kind of stuff I do when I do photo shoots. I love to get to know people and dig. So it's kind of weird to have to focus on me because there's so much I want to ask you. That's what I'm used to doing.
I see. So I'm ready now for our photo shoot now. You broke the ice.
Yes, yes. Do you feel ready? You feel comfortable?
I'm ready. I'm totally ready. Since the first time when you connected, I'm ready for you now.
You would be great. You've got $1 million smile. I can see why Disney, would hire you and want to keep you because you just have that genuine warmth, and it shows through on your interviews too.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm gonna hide myself, okay? Because I'm so shy now, okay?
Oh my gosh, please.
Dave, did you enjoy the interview?
Very much so.
By the way, I would like to say thank you very much for you to being very kind. And, since when I approached you, you've been being so sweet and send me lovely message about the show and saying how much you appreciate. And believe me, it means a lot to me, like receiving those messages for me. When I receive those genuine, beautiful messages from me, you have no idea. For me, I just feel like doing the show like the more I can, like every single time, every single day, because it's a therapy for me. It makes me so happy, connect with people, from any part of the world. It makes me happy. It makes really, really happy when somehow people, they connect with the show, they see themselves, connecting with other people as well. And for me, that's the best part of the show. It's letting people be themselves, and somehow as well being able to, to leave their signature in the show as well. Not just participating on the show, but also connecting. There's so many people that they haven't participated on the show, but at the same time as well, they send lovely messages, like saying how much they like to watch the interviews with random people around the globe. And that's the most beautiful thing for me. That's what makes me the happiest, for sure. Thanks so much.
It's a great concept. Like I said, I'm obsessed with it. Every time I go to your, I'm like, when's the next one coming? When's the new one? And then I see it says coming. I'm like, well, when? I want to see. So I've gone back to the old ones and started looking through them. But the diversity of the interviews, and some people I'll look and I think, well, I won't have anything I want to hear from this person. But I watch the whole thing. It's like, it's just such a great tool to get to know people, because you have people from all over. I love it. I mean, it's just amazing, William. What a great thing you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm the one who feels very grateful for that, and I can wait to do, like, I don't know, to go around the world, like really the Matchbox World Tour, and meet those people, get everyone together somehow, and meet in person and have a moment.
William, when you do that, take me with you, and I will be your photographer, and I will capture.
Oh my God!
All these people.
You're giving me. Oh my God, you give me ideas now. Wow.
I'll be the official William and the Magic Box photographer.
Hey. My God, it's amazing.
And I can see you in all these different cities, and it'll be great.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine how amazing to go around and, picture, like getting picture those moments, like people, oh my God, it's, I could go on and on talking about that with you for another while. Before you go, Dave, if you can share a positive message or something that you live by.
One of my favorite sayings, and this was back in high school: indecision causes accidents.
I never heard that before, and I love it.
Yeah, I really, that one really resonates with me, because sometimes, if you wait too long or you overthink something, you miss an opportunity and that door shuts. So there's that fine line between making a snap judgment and taking too long and missing the opportunity. But yeah, I love that one.
Wow. Thanks so much, Dave. And it was a pleasure having you on the show. And I see you sometime in San Diego for sure. Okay? Thank you so much.
You are welcome anytime, William.
Keep in touch. Okay? Have a lovely day.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye, Dave. Bye. Take care. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.